So besides all the reptiles, another option that's really good for people who are keeping native Australian animals is things like this guy, green tree frog. It's one of the most common amphibians in captivity and probably the easiest to look after. Closure like the one behind me is perfect for them for their whole life. You can keep 3, 4, 5 in there together. Some of these guys do grow quite large. One thing to remember, if you are going to keep them together, it's really important to keep them all together at the same size. If you've got two and one gets too much bigger than the other, his younger brother or sister might become lunch. So keep them the same size and then they get along really well. The other thing is when you feed these guys, they live entirely off things like crickets, just like the types you buy at pet stores. However, if you do have a large number in one enclosure, stay still buddy, if you have a large number in one enclosure, it's really tricky sometimes to know how much he's eating. So if you feed them off by hand, which all the frogs here get fed by hand, there we go, then you know how much who's eating what. If they don't like eating by hand, the other option is you can buy a little plastic tub from any $2 shop and put your frog in there outside his enclosure, and it means any leftover food doesn't actually get left in his tank. Just put him in a feeding tub, feed him in there. When he's finished, pop him on back. So these guys again don't require a whole heap of heat. Being amphibians, their water's very important to them. If you heat them up with a big globe, they can dry out very quickly. So a UV light, a small 60-watt bulb, and a glass tank works really well. So really nice, pretty display, and really easy animals to look after. One thing with regards to handling them, being frogs, they've got what we call permeable skin. It means they drink through their skin. So when you're handling these guys, it's very important that you have wet hands, and not to handle them after you've done anything like washing the dishes, washing your hair, things like shampoo and soap on your hands. It's essentially like drinking a glass of soapy water for these guys. So nice clean hands, wash with fresh water. Usually the water out of their tank works just fine. But yeah, they're very cool little animals and make really great pets.